to this video training on how to get cheap segmented leads with quizzes. Now, if you're new to the idea of getting leads with quizzes, let me just tell you right now that quizzes can increase your lead capture by up to 500%. And I've seen this with my own clients. I've seen this in the industry and with industry experts using quizzes. They're just a powerful lead generation tool, and I'm excited to talk to you about them today. Who am I? My name is Michelle Barnum Smith, and I'm a 17-year marketing veteran. I have been doing marketing in some way, shape, or form for the last 17 years, working in the corporate high-tech space. I started my own digital agency in 2012, so I have been doing, if it's 2017 now, I've been doing that for over 5 years. And marketing is in my blood. In fact, marketing strategy specifically is my superpower. And I have built, I don't even know how many funnels for clients, probably upwards of triple digits. But I've done the lead funnels with ebooks and other fun lead magnets. But really, when it came down to it, my marketing strategy buzzers went off when I saw how incredible the results we were getting from using quizzes as lead magnets. And so, as a marketing strategist, I had to pay attention to how powerful lead quizzes were in helping acquire leads for my customers and their funnels. Like I mentioned, I have my own digital marketing agency called Your Marketing Therapy, and my work has been featured in Forbes, Business Insider, and Examiner.com. So I've gotten around a little bit. I know what I'm talking about. So why do quizzes work? Why are quizzes such a powerful lead acquisition tool? If you have ever taken a quiz, you know from personal experience, whether it's a BuzzFeed quiz or an actual lead generation quiz, quizzes are just interactive and engaging. They're fun. We're narcissists at our hearts. And so we want to know what color our auras are and why we need to know what kind of shape or metabolism our body shape is. We're just naturally drawn to know things about ourselves. The quizzes provide that instant personalized feedback. You get a custom, or what feels like a custom result, a personalized result back. And as humans, we just love that. Quizzes are also powerful because they speak to multiple buying stages. Now, let me explain what I mean by that. Quizzes help us generate awareness. And like this graphic shares, the awareness stage is all about helping to open somebody's eyes to the situation that they're in. And this is a super important marketing step. As marketing professionals or as just people owning businesses, our job is to help people be aware of the need that they have for the solutions that we offer. And so awareness is a super crucial first step. The second step is the consideration phase or stage, or the idea that now that somebody is aware that there's a problem, well, what are the options out there for best identifying a solution? And then once they've gone through that consideration phase of the different solution opportunities, the buyer needs to make a decision. Now, if you can take a quiz, quiz essentially takes somebody from the awareness stage. Somebody starts a quiz, they may not even know that what their state of being is problematic. You have the opportunity to introduce them to the problem in the quiz. You have the opportunity in the quiz to talk about the different options that they have. And then obviously those customized results, those customized outcomes can also be a place that you can help them make a decision and take action and purchase something, hopefully your product, right? So that's one of the reasons why quizzes are so great, because you can essentially take somebody and introduce them to a whole sales experience without necessarily feeling that way in the quiz. It shortens that marketing and sales cycle. So when should you use quizzes for lead generation? When you want someone to become aware of pain quickly. Now, sometimes people shy away from the whole idea of pain. And I want to talk about that really quickly. As a marketing professional, my job is to help my clients communicate the need for their solution to their target audience. Now, something you may not realize is that your biggest competitor is actually the same as everybody else. Everybody else who's in business, everybody shares the same competitor. And that is complacency. Complacency, or just status quo. Just keep on doing what you're already doing. And that is one of the reasons why creating awareness of pain is so important, because without awareness of pain, people are not going to change. They're not going to take steps to change their lives, to make their lives better. And pain is a variable term. It means different things to different situations. Now, the pain of adrenal fatigue is very different than the pain of not having glasses with frames that really identify who you are as an individual, right? Those pains are very different. One is a literal pain and one is a figurative pain. But still, it's your opportunity with quizzes to help people become aware of whatever version of their pain that they're experiencing. And it's an important step as you're designing your quiz to be able to identify what that pain is that you want to help communicate and help your audience become aware of, so that you can then help them experience that. So another time to use quizzes, it was when you're not selling something super high end. I've seen over and over again, people are high end coaches or high end consultants, or even people, trying to sell cars. I don't know. When somebody arrives at an outcome trying to sell some high ticket item. And the reality is that, you're essentially proposing marriage on a first date to somebody. When somebody is a cold lead, when they've come via cold traffic with their Facebook ads or Google ads or some sort of ad on your website, more often than not, they're a cold lead. They haven't had any prior interactions with you. They don't know anything about you. And quite frankly, they don't care. They're taking this quiz because they care about themselves, right? Back to the reasons why people take quizzes. It's because we're narcissists, because we care about ourselves. We want to know the answers to these questions. And so if you're going from giving somebody an experience where they're just interested in learning about themselves to then making it about you and what you are selling, there's going to be a disconnect. They're not going to be interested. And even if they are slightly interested, that price point is going to scare them off. It's just too much too soon. So the quizzes really work best either as a first step in a funnel where eventually you're selling something high end, or it's great when you're selling something low cost and not going to be causing a ton of friction when you introduce the outcome or the offer. Quizzes also really work well when you want to give someone a sense of awareness. So this is related to that first point of becoming aware of pain quickly. This is also just helping people generate awareness about their situation, about what's going on in their life, and how you can help them. So let's talk about different uses for quizzes. Quizzes are great for engagement, and you probably have seen just general engagement quizzes all over social media, whether they're the BuzzFeed quizzes that are like, what color is your aura, or, how well do you know the shapes of the United States, like all different sorts of just engagement. They're kind of like, the purposes are just to go viral, to drive traffic to your website, not necessarily to convert somebody into a lead as much as it is just to have something fun for somebody to do on your website. Interaction. This is kind of an extension of, not only having an experience with your quiz, but also sharing that with other people, kind of creating interaction with that person in their community. It's an extension of the engagement use for the quiz. This is one of my favorite purposes for quizzes, because people are just forking over information about themselves in quizzes. They are raising their hand, selecting different answers to questions, and they're essentially segmenting themselves. And I love to use quizzes to segment leads so that I understand, different things about the audience that I am attracting. And that helps me to better serve them both via outcomes as well as nurture campaigns via email or chatbots and things like that. You can also use quizzes as assessments, and assessments are I guess like a grown-up form of quizzes. So quizzes should be light and fun, entertaining and interactive. Assessments go deeper. They're kind of a step towards surveys, where you're really wanting to dig deep into somebody's life or experiences. And I will say that if you're building an assessment style quiz, I wouldn't have that be necessarily the first step in your funnel. I might make that the second step. You know, you might give somebody an ebook as a first step to enter your funnel, and then the second step might be an assessment to take them deeper and say, okay, now that you've read this ebook, let's find out what's really going on in your life. Take this assessment and find out. So, and that's really a great purpose too, because back to that pain point. If a quiz can just create just general awareness, then an assessment can definitely go deeper to create that pain. And essentially somebody is raising their hand saying, yes, I want to know what's wrong. I want to know what's not working in my life. And so assessments are really great tools for being able to communicate that to people. So let's talk some case studies in which me and my clients have personally seen the power of quizzes. So this is for a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu training membership client that I have. And they had such great results. I mean, gosh, 15 cent leads and almost 5,000 leads in less than a week. The thing went viral, and we were able to get leads super cheap. I think they spent less than $1,000 total on the campaign, and 5,000 leads. When was the last time an ebook did that? Had another client who teaches on faith and associating that with your financial life. And this quiz kind of borderlined on an assessment, are your finances aligned with your faith? It really, somebody is going to be taking this quiz seeking pain. Essentially, they're looking for the truth both about finances and their relationship to God, but this quiz, people loved it. And for her target audience, we were able to get 2,000 leads in less than 3 weeks for a little less than $1,000. So really great stats on those campaigns. So let's talk about the anatomy of a quiz and what is included in a quiz. So first and foremost, you want to have a start or a welcome page. And that start page just kind of briefly describes what the quiz is about and gets people to start the quiz. Then you move into the questions themselves. And I'll talk about the structure of those questions here in a minute. You then, after they finish taking the quiz, you have an opt-in or a gate experience that you require somebody's information before they can actually access their results. And then, of course, you have the outcomes and the offers that you're putting together for people. And sometimes, can I just say it? Sometimes you're not going to have offers for people. You might have a second call to action of some sort that takes them a step further into your funnel. And more often than not, that's what that's the best step for my clients is they have a multi-step funnel, and this is just the first step. And so at the end of the quiz, we're not making a monetary request out of that person. We're really just trying to get them to take the next step in the funnel. So let's talk about where to start in building your quiz. First things first, as a marketing strategist, you have to think about the goal of your funnel as a whole and how you're going to use the quiz to get somebody both into your funnel as well as to prepare them for the next step in the funnel. So often people are just, they love the idea of the fun quizzes that they're spending money acquiring leads that are not they're not good for the rest of the funnel. You're just essentially acquiring junk leads just because you like volume. And that's not the best use of your money. So you have to think, okay, well, what is the goal of my funnel as a whole? What kind of, what is the offer that I am trying to get somebody to purchase at the end of the day? Like, is it an online course? Is it a coaching call? Is it to sign up for a webinar? What's that next, not just the next step, but what is the destination? And then you work backwards from there and identifying, well, how can this quiz best serve my funnel while still being fun and interesting and exciting to the end users? So I want you to take a minute. If you were to, because it's really easy for somebody to start brainstorming ideas for quizzes, but it's more important to actually start with the destination of your funnel in mind. So is it to drive foot traffic to your retail business? Is it to, drive traffic to an e-commerce site? What is the goal of your overall funnel? And then how can we best serve that funnel with a quiz? Once you have that in mind, now you need to develop the actual questions to bring your leads closer to helping you achieve that goal. So as far as the structure of the question flow, what I recommend and some great industry experts recommend as well, is the first questions be really light and fun and playful. Too often people start taking a quiz and you're asking too many hard questions too soon. So back to the dating analogy, if you're on a date with somebody and they start asking you, really heavy questions, you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, you have no right to be asking me these things. There's no trust, no intimacy here. Like, let's start. What's your favorite color? Let's start shallow. Let's start, easy and fun and playful, and ease somebody into a deeper conversation. And then questions 4 through 7 really are about discovery. You're trying to understand somebody's situation. You're wanting to go a little bit deeper and see where they're coming from and where they're at in relation to where they want to be, those kind of things. And then you go back on question 8, you go back to a comfort question, something that's easy to answer and keeps the momentum going. And then question 9 is where you kind of hit them with some pain. Where are you in relation? Are you happy with your weight? Are you satisfied with how your glasses frame your face? You're going for the jugular really on this one, and you're addressing the pain. And at this point, you've asked enough questions to have some fun with them, and so they're more likely than not to drop. They're probably not going to drop off on you at this point in the quiz. And then the last question is commitment. Like, how likely are you to make a change? How committed are you to becoming more healthy, to finding a pair of glasses that are best for you? Like that commitment looks like different things for different business models, but essentially you're asking them, like, are you ready to make a change? And now, as far as questions that you would tag somebody on, and depending on the quiz tool that you're using, you could capture all of this information and pass it through to your CRM so that you know all of the answers to these questions about each one of your contacts. Like, isn't that crazy? It's super sexy. But the reality is that questions 9 and 10 are the most important questions. That the outcomes, the answers to those questions should absolutely be the ones that you segment by and that you pass through to your CRM so that you can know, okay, this person is committed, they're a hot lead, they're ready to make a change. They're hurting, they're not happy with their situation. Like, we need to help them fix their problem, right? Or not, right? If somebody's not ready to make a change, if they're pretty happy with their situation, like, then you're going to put them into a less aggressive nurture sequence. Maybe you're going to spend more time on education and building your brand in their eyes instead of going for the sale over and over and over again. Okay. So what information do you need to collect? So once somebody finishes taking the questions, they're going to experience, or they can experience, a gated outcome, which is essentially asking somebody to opt in to be able to see their results. Now, too many times, especially when I've coached people with their quizzes, instead of me building them for them, if people come to me with their quizzes and say, hey, help me figure out why this isn't converting, more often than not, the conversion problem is at their gated stage. I've seen people ask for first name, last name, address, phone number, all sorts of things that, like, people just aren't willing to give these days. And so you need to ask yourself, what information do I absolutely need to be able to, justify taking them to the next step? Usually that's, the standard first name, email address. That should be enough at this stage to get them to the next step. And I absolutely recommend that. And that's because you're removing friction. Friction is what slows things down, right? It's what causes, people to kind of stop and think and be like, oh, do I really want to know the answers? Here you've kind of built momentum with this, with how you've structured the questions. You've built momentum. You want somebody just to be clicking through your quizzes and answering those questions. And then they reach the gated section, and you need to make that as easy as possible on them to receive their information. Now, if you want to be just like, keep it simple, do it. Only what you need to know. If you want to be a total quiz wizard You should try the following, and maybe take a screenshot of this slide. So what you want to do is you want to ungate the quiz. I recently did this actually with one of my own business quizzes. I was getting great opt-in or a great amount of people starting the quiz and getting all the way through the quiz. And then like 80% of the people would get to the gated stage, and then only like 12% would opt in. I was like, you know what, that sucks. So I shut off the gate, and then essentially what I did is I created the opt-in at the second step in the funnel. So on the outcome page, you know, I had an offer that took them to a landing page, or in my example, I actually used a chatbot link, so removed even less friction, so that they were opting in on the second step instead of the first. And of course, not everybody does, you know, take advantage of that second step opt-in. And so then what I did is I did retargeting ads to people who landed on the outcome page, but who didn't end up at the opting in to the second step in the funnel. So then I retargeted them with ads for that second step opt-in, whether it's an ebook or a webinar registration or free 5-day challenge or video series, or, you know, whatever it looks like. But this actually converted really, really well. The amount of people who actually finished the quiz, the numbers shot through the roof, and then the amount of people ended up on the outcome page and taking the second step in the funnel was a lot higher, obviously, than the people who, you know, didn't end up finishing the quiz and were kind of like lost into the oblivion. Because at that stage, you're not going to, you know, they're not going to retake the quiz to then find out the outcome. You have to like jump to the second step. So try ungating the quiz and only having an opt-in on the second step in your funnel, and give that a shot. Okay, so let's talk about the actual outcomes or the offers that you want to deliver. So when it comes to the outcome page, and I already kind of talked a little bit about that in the last slide, but this is where you can, this is where your second step in your funnel takes place. Now, obviously for low priced offers, maybe this is where you put an actual offer together and say, you know, it sounds like you have oily skin, take advantage of this, you know, click here to get a coupon for $10 off, and that'll take them, that'll send them a coupon link, as well as send them directly to your website to start purchasing. You know, I think that's great. For other outcomes, it really becomes a matter of, well, what is that second step? Now that you've created awareness, possibly pain, what is the next step in your funnel that they need to take to go deeper with you, to learn more, to take that next step? So whether it's a webinar, whether it's a one-on-one consult, you know, think through what does that next step in the funnel need to be, and include that call to action in the actual outcome. Okay. So now let's talk about my preferred quiz tools. I am a fan of lead quizzes. It really is built for generating leads. It really is. You're not going to see BuzzFeed quiz tools there that are just for viral engagement. It really is about lead generation, and they integrate with pretty much every CRM. And if they don't integrate with it directly, they connect to Zapier, and so then you can connect to anything. So I really like using lead quizzes. I think it's a great tool, and I've used it for a lot of my clients. Quizzer is another quiz tool that I've used. I actually started building quizzes with Quizzer, and they're a great solution as well. ClickFunnels has a quiz functionality built into their solution as well, and Thrive Quizzes is a good solution too. So those are kind of the top 4 that I recommend to people who are interested in starting to build and use quizzes to generate leads for their funnels. And then if you need help moving forward, I also offer quiz building services. Basically, it's either a done for you quiz for $500. You get quiz strategy, you get outcome and offer design. I help you with the quiz building itself, do the copywriting. I'll set up the quiz or at least guide you in the quiz setup, and then also help with CRM integration as well. Or a lot of people like to just get my advice on their quizzes. We can talk about the quizzes that you have. We can review your current quizzes. If you're stuck, if you don't even know where to start, we can start at the very beginning with your overall quiz strategy and help you generate and figure out what your outcomes are or your offers, and also assist you with the question building as well. So you can go to my website. You can see a lot of samples of quizzes there that me and my team have built. And you can take a look at what we have going on there. You can also schedule a free consult with me where we can talk about what you're trying to accomplish and help you pick a solution that's best for you. Thanks so much. Please message us if you have any questions on how to use quizzes in your business.